Live with Jim Ostrowski today.
Unbelievable.
Jim and I haven't done a video in a while, so we kind of, I'm not feeling
Go
loved.
Bills.
Yeah,
Are they in the Super Bowl? Because I've been kind of busy.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed.
So, Jim has a new book. It's called The Second Amendment Works. It shows up backwards because we're doing like a screenshot here, but it just happens that way. But some of the good paragraphs in here, are we losing the fight for the Second Amendment? Gun control is a progressive idea. The left controls the idea, disseminating institutions. The left has framed a debate to make sure we lose. The Second Amendment works. The failure to gun control, why we are losing in the courts. Be an educated juror. We need to inform alliances. And number 10, be prepared to resist tyranny. So which paragraph is your favorite?
Well, when we had a program in Albany the other day, the reporter, who was probably not a Second Amendment person, quoted the paragraph about don't watch what the left is doing in America, watch what they've done throughout history, which is commit massive atrocities, I'm paraphrasing, with using government gun violence. So she thought that quote would sort of label me as a right-wing fanatic. But actually I thought that was nice. That's one of the better lines in the book.
But even in defending your clients, you've actually used that phrase, like in Ben Wassel's case, right?
Well, a lot of the book is based on research from court cases, including the Mangiello versus Cuomo, still pending. Still pending in the Second Circuit, Ben Wassel's case. And then we had a forum in Batavia where you spoke.
Yeah.
On April 15th.
You actually talk good about me.
April 15th. I only tell the truth about you in private.
No, he said.
April 15th.
He said.
You just made a big impression on Dave. I completely forgot whatever BS
You said, I reminded you of your dad. Oh, you're so sweet, Jim.
So we had this program on April 15th, 2018 in Batavia about strategy because we were losing at that time. So out of that, we came up with the idea, well, we needed like a short primer on the Second Amendment, and this is it. It took me a long time to do it. I got some small donations, and I want to thank the people who did that. But largely it was, frankly, just time off from law practice, nights, weekends. Got up early in the morning. Got it done. So it's the Second Amendment Works, which I believe will be the new slogan of our, and motto, whatever the difference is, look it up in the dictionary, of our movement. And it is a primer, and it sets the record straight about what the right to bear arms is about. It's not about hunting. The word hunting is not in the book. It's not about target shooting, although that's a useful thing to do. Make sure you can shoot straight. It's about making sure that our small r Republican form of government is preserved, and to make sure the government doesn't commit atrocities. So if you understand that's what the purpose is, then you can do the empirical research and the historical research and put the statistics together that show that. So, for example, one of the really new factoids in the book, which I don't think has been discussed at all by anybody, is the absence of coup d'etats in the United States. Well, we expect to see them. It's funny to see them. There's some funny Woody Allen movies about this, coup d'etat in banana republics in Africa and in Asia. Well, why do they have coup d'etats? Well, one of the reasons they do is because the citizenry is not armed, and one faction of the army catches the other faction of the army sleeping, takes over the presidential palace, the radio station, and the airport. Now they run the country. Now you can't do that in the U.S. If they deposed the president in the middle of the night, the next day you'd have 5 million people with long guns surrounding Washington saying, can you put the president back, please? So that illustrates that the Second Amendment works peacefully. It works peacefully. It prevents violence by the
elected officials knowing that they're accountable, because if things get out of control, these people have the ability to protect their rights.
And notice that nobody messed with the Virginia people the other day, and there wasn't a single arrest or act of violence. So again, the Second Amendment works. That's, I hope, to be the new motto. I mean, we've not been marketing our movement well. We usually we're always on defense. This book puts us on the offense. It changes the nature of the debate, and it presents a winning program that doesn't require that we ask the government for permission. It's direct citizen action, which is an idea I've been trying to push for many, many years. And this is libertymovement.org's first major project. I've been talking about this website, this organization. Well, it's finally real. I wasn't kidding. It just took longer than we thought, because I'm not Bloomberg and I don't have $37 billion behind me. That's the guy that I'm fighting. But
you've donated your own time to write this book,
plus some donations from people. But yes, I did.
So even though the book's on Amazon for $5, that just pays for printing the book and doing it.
The book's on Amazon for $5. I make a very small royalty. It's on Kindle for $3. But we always said this was going to be free, and it is free. It's on 2awny.com. So if you want to read it online, you can read it online. If you want to print it out, you can print it out, or you can buy a nice, clean, bound copy through Amazon, or you can get it on your Kindle reader or your cell phone for $3. So the point is, I'm going to be making most of my living selling books, but this was too important to just say, oh, I'm going to charge $15, I have to make my profit. No, this is something that's so important to our movement that we're putting it out there for free, or for the cost of a coffee and a donut on Amazon.
So some of the topics, you have summary of strategy of tactics.
Yeah.
One thing I like is be an educated juror. I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's a major element.
Because I've been pushing this for the jury has a right to nullify bad laws. So
you can say that. I can't say that because I'm a lawyer. But the trial jury, what I can say is that the grand jury has the absolute legal right to not indict people for technical gun violations, and that's because the language in the criminal procedure law says you may indict. Well, you may means may. It doesn't mean must. In the federal court charge, it says you should indict, which still doesn't mean must. So as a lawyer, I can say the grand jury can nullify. The trial jury is not supposed to nullify, because the judge-made law has changed the meaning of the Constitution. Now, are they supposed to do that? No, but that is the state of the law. However, if a trial jury does nullify a stupid gun law, there's no legal remedy to overturn that verdict. I can say that, but what they're doing now, they're cracking down on trial juries, and they're asking people, are you for jury nullification? In other words, are you for the original meaning of the Sixth Amendment as understood by Jefferson and Hamilton and John Adams, the three top lawyers of the colonial period? And you're supposed to say, oh no, I'm not.
But if you do a search,
and they have gone after people for perjury. So as a lawyer, I can't say that you should be nullifying trial jury verdicts. But as a lawyer, I can also say you do have that right for the grand jury, as I understand the law.
And you wrote a book on jury nullification. The rise and fall of jury nullification.
It was a law review type article for the Journal of Libertarian Studies, which is published by the Mises Institute. So what I did is I grabbed the best of that material and put it into this book.
And that's what I feel is really important, because it's the right of due process to be judged by your peers. And that's from a process 800 years ago put together in the Magna Carta that our forefathers secured in the Bill of Rights, which made the Bill of Rights and the Constitution actually a little stronger than the Magna Carta way back when.
Right.
And we've noticed governments kind of almost tampering with the jury to charge individuals with...
Long story short, the government doesn't like juries, and they don't like the right to bear arms. And when you think about it, it's for the same reason.
Because the jury could use common sense, right?
Well, specifically, the founders carved out some of the power of government and kept that within the people. And they did it on purpose. They gave some of the power to the government. They kept some governmental power, the right to convict and indict, that stays with the people. The right to bear arms stays with the people. Now, naturally, power-hungry politicians don't want the people to have any power at all. And that's why they have systematically tried to reduce the right to trial by jury and grand jury. The grand jury has become kind of a joke. We need to change that. And they try to take care of, try to, of course, take our right to bear arms. So they're twin. Those are twin elements of a small R Republican government. It's limited in nature, and part of the limitation is part of the governmental power is kept back by the people. So this is what's all explained in the book, and it's all in plain English. You'll understand. You don't have to be you don't have to major in English common law history to get it. I just distilled it down to the basic points.
Because without understanding your basic rights of why things are the way they are, this book will help break that down, correct? And understand.
Yes, and it explains that gun control is a process. Gun control is a manifestation of progressive ideology that's dominated the country for 100 years. So the progressive thinks it's a governmental solution to all human problems, and is constantly looking for non-governmental scapegoats. So just keep this in mind. Anytime there's a problem in society, the progressive will always blame something other than the government.
But
right?
the progressive's idea...
There's a shootout. Yeah. There's a shootout at a government school. And the shooter was a government school student who was bullied in government school, and the government police officers failed to stop it. So who does the progressive blame? The government? Or no, it's you and I for having a shotgun at home and are safe. So the process of gun control is a form of scapegoating. It's a form of blaming something that isn't the cause of a problem for the problem to avoid revealing the real cause of the problem, which is usually the failure of progressive policy. So the whole gun confiscation movement is unmasked and demolished in this book in every conceivable way you can possibly imagine. And it's all done on 100 pages.
Great, Jim. All right, we're
Thanks
going
a
to
lot.
go on here.
Thanks,
We're running out
Dave.
of time, but again...
We both got to get back to work so we can pay our 80% of our wealth to the government.
It's on Amazon, it's on Kindle.
And 2awny.com
and
for
please
free.
Join 2anyw.com.
2awny.com.
And you can
Steve
leave donations
Solano.
there. Yes.
He's taking members. Extremely active. He was just down in Delaware County. We were all in Albany the other day. Right in the belly of the beast, and we got Steve set up the press conference. We got the Albany Times Union quoting the book. Unbelievable. I've never had a news article where one of my books is quoted. So Steve's a great political mechanic for the Second Amendment movement in New York State.
Yep. Tell friends about We the People in New York, the Facebook page we're sharing it on. And then Jim has another Facebook page called Liberty and Movement, and we'll share the links on there. But thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Dave.